Let me start with a truth that most men over 60 don't hear enough. Aging is not the same as decline. Yes, your body changes. Yes, your testosterone levels naturally dip. But that doesn't mean you have to accept fatigue, brain fog, or the loss of your drive as just the way it is. I meet so many men who quietly carry the weight of these changes, convinced that the best years are behind them. Yet research, nutrition science, and clinical practice tell us something different. The right habits can revive your energy, sharpen your mind, and restore a sense of strength that feels authentically yours. And sometimes the most overlooked solutions come not from prescriptions or trendy supplements, but from the foods that have been sitting in your grocery aisle all along. That's what today's conversation is about. Specifically, 3 fruits that, when eaten consistently, can become powerful allies in your body's fight against hormonal decline. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Fruits? Really? How can something so simple make any difference in something as complex as testosterone? It sounds almost too easy, too ordinary, compared to the fancy bottles and miracle claims flooding the internet. But that's the trap, because in a world where every product promises instant results, we forget that true vitality comes from steady, proven, and natural support. And what's more natural than food itself? Before we dive into the fruits, let's talk about the landscape men face after 60. Statistically, more than 1 out of every 3 men at this age has clinically low testosterone. But numbers don't tell the whole story. Low testosterone isn't just about libido or muscle mass. It shows up in the frustration of not sleeping well, in the subtle irritability that creeps into conversations, in the mornings where energy feels like it belongs to someone else. It shows up in the mirror when you notice muscle loss, or in the brain fog that makes even simple decisions heavier. These are not minor inconveniences. They are daily reminders that something in your biology is shifting. But here's the hopeful part. Low testosterone isn't caused by age alone. Age is the stage, not the script. The real culprits are chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, metabolic issues, and nutrient deficiencies, all of which are influenced by what we eat, how we sleep, how we move, and how we handle stress. And that means there's room for change. There's room for action. Think of your hormones as the conductor of your body's orchestra. When testosterone is low, the music gets muddled. Energy, mood, metabolism, and strength all sound out of tune. But when testosterone levels are supported, the symphony comes alive again. And food, the right kind of food, can help fine-tune that orchestra back into harmony. So why fruits? Because they are nature's delivery system for antioxidants, phytonutrients, vitamins, and minerals that directly address the root causes of testosterone decline. They reduce inflammation, protect hormone-producing cells, stabilize blood sugar, and even improve circulation. Yet too many men avoid fruit, worried about sugar or falling for myths that it raises estrogen. That misinformation robs them of one of the simplest, most enjoyable ways to support vitality. Today, I'm going to reframe fruit for you, not as sugar in disguise, but as strategic, powerful allies in your fight for health after 60. We'll unpack the science, bust the myths, and translate research into real-world habits you can use every single day. And by the end, you'll see how just 3 fruits, pomegranate, avocado, and berries, can create a foundation for stronger testosterone, steadier energy, and sharper focus. But first, let's zoom out and understand what really causes testosterone to fall as the years go by. This matters, because once you know the why, the solutions stop feeling like guesswork. The first culprit is chronic inflammation. Your immune system is designed to protect you, to respond to threats with controlled bursts of defense. But modern lifestyles, poor diet, pollution, stress, lack of sleep, keep that system turned on like a fire alarm that never shuts off. Instead of healing, this constant low-grade inflammation damages tissues, including the Leydig cells in your testes that produce testosterone. Imagine trying to run a factory while smoke fills the room. Production slows, workers get sick, and eventually the machines stop working. That's what inflammation does inside your body. The second culprit is insulin resistance. As men age, especially if diet quality slips or waistlines expand, insulin, the hormone that manages blood sugar, becomes less effective. The body pumps out more of it, but the cells don't respond. This creates a double problem. High insulin directly suppresses testosterone production, while low testosterone worsens insulin resistance. It's a vicious cycle that fuels fatigue, weight gain, and hormonal imbalance. The third culprit is oxidative stress. This is the cellular wear and tear caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. Over time, oxidative stress damages blood vessels, disrupts communication between the brain and testes, and accelerates aging in every system. Think of it like rust spreading through metal, silent at first, but eventually destructive. These three forces, inflammation, insulin resistance, and oxidative stress, form a triangle that traps many men after 60. The good news is that food, particularly fruit, is uniquely equipped to fight back. Antioxidants neutralize free radicals. Fiber stabilizes blood sugar. Phytonutrients calm inflammation. And unlike supplements, fruit delivers these in synergy, as whole packages the body recognizes and uses efficiently. Now, let's bust one of the most persistent myths before moving forward: the idea that fruit somehow lowers testosterone or raises estrogen. This belief often comes from poorly interpreted animal studies or internet fear-mongering, but human research tells a different story. Fruits, especially the ones we'll discuss today, support hormone health by protecting testicular cells, reducing cortisol, and enhancing circulation. They don't feminize men, they strengthen them. I've had patients walk into my office proudly declaring that they've cut out all carbs, all fruit, convinced it's the key to better hormones. But weeks later, they're more exhausted, more irritable, and more confused than ever. Why? Because the body isn't a calculator, it's a symphony. And when you strip away the instruments, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, the music falters. Adding the right fruits back into their diets often brings noticeable improvements in energy, mood, and even lab markers. So let's turn theory into practice. Over the next sections, we'll focus on 3 superstar fruits. Pomegranate, often called nature's nitric oxide booster, known for improving blood flow, lowering cortisol, and even supporting prostate health. Avocado, a creamy, misunderstood fruit rich in the fats and micronutrients your body uses to actually build testosterone molecules. And berries, antioxidant powerhouses that shield testosterone-producing cells, protect the brain, and keep blood sugar stable. Each fruit addresses a unique pillar of testosterone health, and together they create a foundation men over 60 can rely on. But let's not just name them. Let's unpack the science, bust the myths, and translate research into real-world habits you can use every single day. We'll begin with pomegranate, because it's more than just a pretty red fruit. It's a potent symbol of vitality, used in ancient cultures as a marker of fertility and strength, and now backed by modern science as a true ally in male health. A landmark study in 2012 gave healthy men pomegranate juice for just 2 weeks. The results were striking: an average 24% increase in salivary testosterone, lower cortisol, and improved mood. Think about that. A simple fruit juice affecting not just hormone levels, but also stress and emotional state. That's the kind of multi-layered support men rarely get from pills. The mechanisms are fascinating. Pomegranate is rich in polyphenols, including punocolagins and elagolic acid, compounds with extraordinary antioxidant power. These shield Leydig cells from oxidative damage, keeping the testosterone factory running. At the same time, pomegranate boosts nitric oxide, the molecule your body uses to relax blood vessels. This means better circulation to the heart, the brain, and yes, to the areas where it matters most for men's confidence. But the benefits don't stop there. Cortisol, your main stress hormone, is like a seesaw with testosterone. When cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. Chronic stress keeps testosterone suppressed. Pomegranate helps lower cortisol, lifting the brake and letting testosterone rise naturally. And then there's prostate health, a subject many men over 60 worry about but rarely address openly. A 2006 study found that men with rising PSA levels who consumed pomegranate extract experienced a significant slowing in PSA doubling time, suggesting protective effects against prostate progression. Few fruits offer that kind of dual support, hormonal and protective. How do you use it? The simplest way is half a cup of pomegranate arils sprinkled over yogurt, salad, or oatmeal. You can drink 4 to 6 ounces of 100% juice, but avoid the sugar-loaded blends on store shelves. If you're on medications for blood pressure or blood thinners, check with your doctor, as pomegranate can mildly interact. Here's how I explain it to patients. Think of pomegranate as your circulatory multivitamin. It tunes up your blood vessels, reduces stress, protects your prostate, and energizes your hormones, all in one delicious package. And unlike supplements that come and go, fruit is a habit you can stick with for life. This is where we'll pause for now.
Now, let's shift gears. We've covered pomegranate, the red jewel of circulation and hormonal protection. But what about fat? That's a word that has scared men for decades, especially those who grew up in the era of low-fat everything. Yet here's a truth most men don't realize. Without healthy fats, your body simply cannot make testosterone. The hormone itself is built from cholesterol, converted step by step into the very molecules that govern your strength, energy, and drive. Which brings us to one of the most misunderstood fruits in the world, the avocado. Yes, avocado is a fruit, even though most people treat it like a vegetable or a garnish. And for men over 60, it's not just food. It's hormonal raw material. When I speak with patients about testosterone, one of the first questions I ask is about dietary fat. Because if your body doesn't get the right building blocks, no supplement or therapy will work as well as it could. Avocado provides the perfect fat profile for testosterone support, mostly monounsaturated fat, along with small amounts of polyunsaturated fat and virtually no harmful trans fats. These fats do more than provide calories. They act as messengers, activating enzymes in the testes that convert cholesterol into testosterone. It's like giving the factory not just raw material, but also the tools and electricity to keep production going. Research backs this up. A review in the Journal of Clinical Lipidology highlighted that men who consumed diets higher in monounsaturated fats had higher free testosterone levels compared to those who consumed high amounts of trans fats and refined carbohydrates. Free testosterone is especially important because it's the biologically active form, the testosterone your cells can actually use. But avocado is not just about fat. It's a treasure chest of micronutrients that enhance hormonal function. Vitamin B6 helps the body produce dopamine, which indirectly supports testosterone. Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant, protecting delicate testicular tissue from damage. Magnesium, abundant in avocado, reduces SHBG, or sex hormone-binding globulin, a protein that binds testosterone and makes it unavailable. By lowering SHBG, magnesium frees more testosterone for your cells. Let's unpack that. Imagine your testosterone is wrapped in duct tape. It's technically there, but you can't use it. That's what happens when SHBG levels are high. Magnesium cuts away some of that tape, releasing testosterone back into circulation. A study in biological trace element research found that older men who supplemented with magnesium saw significant increases in free testosterone, especially when combined with regular physical activity. Eating avocados is one of the easiest natural ways to tap into that effect. Now, some men worry about fat and cholesterol. Won't eating avocados raise cholesterol? The evidence says no. In fact, it's the opposite. A 2015 study in the Journal of the American Heart Association showed that eating 1 avocado per day improved cholesterol profiles in overweight adults, lowering LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, and raising HDL, the protective good cholesterol. This dual effect supports heart health while providing the raw material for hormone production. So let's talk practicality. How can you use avocado in a way that truly supports testosterone? It doesn't require fancy recipes. Half an avocado at breakfast, sliced onto whole grain toast with eggs, a few cubes tossed into a lunchtime salad with olive oil and lean protein, mashed avocado as a creamy side with grilled salmon or chicken.
Even blend it into a smoothie with spinach, protein powder, and berries. Because of its fat content, avocado is also satiating, helping prevent overeating and stabilizing blood sugar, another key factor in maintaining testosterone levels. And here's a myth to put to rest. Fat makes you fat. That's not true. Excess processed carbs, constant snacking, and insulin resistance make you gain fat. Healthy fats, like those in avocado, help balance hormones, improve metabolism, and encourage your body to burn fat more efficiently. So instead of avoiding fat, think of it as fuel for your hormonal engine. There's another layer to avocado's benefit: brain health. Testosterone isn't just about physical strength or libido. It also affects cognition, focus, and mood. The brain is largely made of fat, and it thrives on healthy fats like those found in avocado. Omega-3s, monounsaturated fats, and antioxidants in avocado help reduce brain inflammation, improve blood flow, and stabilize neurotransmitters. That means clearer thinking, sharper memory, and better mood. All things men notice declining when testosterone is low. I often remind patients that testosterone health isn't about one organ. It's about the entire system: brain, heart, metabolism, and reproductive tissues all working together. Avocado supports each of these through multiple pathways, making it one of the most efficient foods you can eat after 60. But here's something men rarely hear. Consistency is more important than volume. Eating one avocado today and forgetting about it for 3 weeks won't do much. But incorporating small amounts into your daily rhythm, like half an avocado with breakfast or lunch, builds a hormonal foundation over time. That's how the benefits accumulate. Let me share a patient story, because storytelling helps ground the science. A gentleman in his late 60s came to see me complaining of low energy, irritability, and trouble sleeping. His labs confirmed low free testosterone. He'd already tried cutting carbs aggressively, convinced that was the solution, but felt worse. We added avocados to his daily meals, along with moderate exercise and stress reduction practices. Within weeks, he noticed his mood stabilizing, his sleep improving, and even his waistline shrinking. His follow-up labs showed a measurable rise in free testosterone. The change wasn't dramatic overnight, but steady and noticeable. And most importantly, sustainable. That's the power of real food. It doesn't shock the system, it supports it. And when you combine avocado with other hormone-supportive fruits, the benefits multiply. Which brings us to the next part of our journey: berries. If avocado represents building blocks, berries represent defense. They are your shield, small, colorful, and deceptively powerful. But before we dive into the specifics, let's tackle the elephant in the room: the myth that berries and other fruits somehow feminize the male body. The truth is, berries don't flood your body with estrogen. In fact, many of their compounds act as modulators, blocking harmful forms of estrogen while protecting testosterone. The confusion often comes from soy studies, not berries, and even those are frequently misinterpreted. So what do berries really do? They deliver some of the highest concentrations of antioxidants found in any food group. Anthocyanins, flavonoids, ellagic acid, these compounds actively protect the Leydig cells in your testes from oxidative stress. Remember the rust analogy we used earlier? Berries are like rust-proofing for your hormonal machinery. A 2016 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Biochemistry found that anthocyanins in berries preserve testosterone production in aging rats by reducing oxidative damage. Human studies show similar patterns. Diets rich in berries are linked to lower inflammation, improved insulin sensitivity, and healthier vascular function. And that matters because insulin resistance is one of the hidden killers of testosterone. When blood sugar is out of control, testosterone production plummets. Berries help stabilize the system by slowing sugar absorption, improving glucose tolerance, and reducing inflammatory markers tied to metabolic dysfunction. Think of it this way: testosterone is like a delicate flame. Oxidative stress and poor blood sugar control are the winds trying to snuff it out. Berries are the glass lantern shielding that flame, allowing it to burn brighter and longer. But berries don't just protect testosterone, they also support prostate health, brain function, and cardiovascular resilience. The brain-hormone connection is especially important. Testosterone production begins in the hypothalamus, deep in your brain. If brain inflammation is high, signaling to your testes falters. Antioxidants in berries reduce that inflammation, supporting clear communication between brain and body. And let's not overlook practical appeal. Berries are versatile. A handful on Greek yogurt, a smoothie blended with spinach and avocado, a simple dessert of blueberries and dark chocolate. Frozen berries are just as good as fresh, sometimes even better since they're picked and flash frozen at peak ripeness. Men often ask me about sugar and fruit. Won't berries spike blood sugar? The answer is no. Berries are among the lowest glycemic fruits. They're full of fiber, which slows digestion, preventing spikes and crashes. Compare that to cookies or soda, which hit your bloodstream like a tidal wave. Fruit sugar isn't the enemy, processed sugar is, and your body knows the difference. Here's a practical strategy. Aim for half a cup to 1 cup of mixed berries daily. Rotate between blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries. Each provides a slightly different nutrient profile, but all deliver antioxidant protection. Pair them with protein or healthy fat to stabilize energy further, like Greek yogurt, nuts, or avocado. To recap so far, we've covered 2 of the 3 fruits: pomegranate for circulation, cortisol control, and prostate protection; avocado for hormone-building fats, magnesium, and free testosterone; and now berries for antioxidant defense, blood sugar balance, and brain hormone support. Each fruit covers a different battlefield in the war for vitality after 60. Together, they form a strategy that is simple, sustainable, and profoundly effective. But our conversation isn't finished, because there's a bigger question many men still ask. What about fruit sugar in general? Isn't fructose bad for testosterone? That's the myth we'll tackle next. And by now, you've seen how 3 simple fruits, pomegranate, avocado, and berries, can directly support testosterone, energy, and vitality in men over 60. But there's still one big question that lingers in the minds of many men. What about fruit sugar? Isn't fructose harmful? Haven't we been told to avoid sugar at all costs if we want to keep hormones balanced and fat off our waistlines? This fear is understandable, but like so many things in nutrition, context is everything. Let's clear this up once and for all. When experts warn about the dangers of fructose, they are almost always talking about added sugars, high fructose corn syrup in sodas, candies, baked goods, and processed foods. Those are concentrated, stripped of fiber, and delivered to the liver in massive doses the body was never designed to handle. The result? Insulin resistance, liver fat buildup, inflammation, and suppressed testosterone. That is sugar abuse, and it's damaging. Whole fruit is a completely different story. When you eat an apple, a handful of blueberries, or half a pomegranate, you're not just eating fructose. You're consuming fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and water. That fiber slows the absorption of sugar, preventing spikes in blood glucose. The antioxidants counteract oxidative stress. The micronutrients support hormone production. Your body recognizes whole fruit as nourishment, not as an attack. In fact, studies consistently show that men who consume moderate amounts of fruit have better metabolic health, lower waist circumference, and in many cases, higher testosterone levels compared to men who avoid fruit altogether. A 2019 cohort study in Nutrients found that men who ate 2 to 4 servings of fruit per day had improved waist-to-hip ratios and healthier hormone profiles. The key was not avoiding fruit, but avoiding refined sugar. So the myth that fruit sugar kills testosterone is just that, a myth. The real culprits are processed sugar, alcohol, sleep deprivation, and chronic stress. Whole fruit, on the other hand, can be one of your greatest allies. Think of it this way. Would you compare a banana to a candy bar? Both contain sugar, but one comes with potassium, fiber, magnesium, and vitamin B6, all of which support testosterone and energy. The other comes with refined flour, artificial additives, and empty calories. Your body responds completely differently. Here's a practical way to approach fruit. Pair it wisely, portion it sensibly, and use it as a replacement for processed sweets. Pairing fruit with protein or fat slows digestion even further. For example, apple slices with almond butter, berries with Greek yogurt, or pomegranate seeds sprinkled over salmon salad. This combination reduces insulin spikes, keeps energy steady, and supports muscle recovery. Portion size matters too, but it's not complicated. 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day is a sweet spot for most men. A serving might be 1 small apple, half a cup of berries, half an avocado, or a half a cup of pomegranate arils. Spread these across your day and you'll experience the benefits without overloading your system. And perhaps the most powerful strategy, use fruit to replace processed desserts. Instead of cookies at night, try frozen berries with a spoonful of dark chocolate. Instead of sugary cereal in the morning, opt for avocado toast topped with berries. These swaps may seem small, but they send powerful signals to your body. You're reducing inflammation, stabilizing insulin, and protecting testosterone. Let's make it concrete with a sample day for a man over 60 who wants to support testosterone naturally. Breakfast: half an avocado mashed on whole grain toast with a poached egg. Side of Greek yogurt topped with half a cup of blueberries and raspberries. Black coffee or green tea. Lunch: grilled chicken breast or salmon with quinoa. Mixed green salad with olive oil, lemon, and a sprinkling of pomegranate seeds. Steamed vegetables on the side. Snack: apple slices with almond butter, or a small handful of mixed nuts with a few strawberries. Dinner: stir-fried shrimp with garlic, spinach, and bell peppers. Half a cup of blackberries for dessert with a tablespoon of chia seeds. Herbal tea to wind down. This is not a restrictive plan. It's delicious, satisfying, and completely sustainable. It includes all 3 superstar fruits in different ways spread throughout the day, and it aligns with the rhythms of your body, energizing in the morning, stabilizing at midday, and restorative at night. Of course, food is only one piece of the puzzle. Sleep, movement, and stress management are critical. Testosterone production is highest during deep sleep, so protecting your sleep quality is essential. Resistance training stimulates testosterone release, especially when paired with recovery nutrition like avocado or berries. Stress management matters too, because chronic cortisol is testosterone's worst enemy. Simple practices like breathing exercises, walking after meals, or taking 10 minutes to stretch can make a real difference. But here's why food is so powerful. You eat every day. Every bite is either reinforcing decline or building resilience. When you choose fruits that protect, nourish, and energize, you are stacking the deck in your favor. And when you make those choices consistently, day after day, the results accumulate. I want to pause and emphasize something. This isn't about perfection. Too often, men give up on health goals because they think they need to overhaul their entire lives overnight. That's not realistic, and it's not necessary. What matters most is consistency and small steps. Add half a pomegranate to your breakfast. Slice avocado onto your lunch. Grab a handful of berries instead of chips. These aren't just dietary tweaks. They're daily signals telling your body you are supported, you are nourished, and you are safe to thrive. And let's be clear about what's at stake. Low testosterone doesn't just affect libido. It impacts mood, confidence, metabolism, bone density, sleep quality, and even cardiovascular health. Left unchecked, it can accelerate aging, increase risk of chronic disease, and steal the vitality you deserve in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. But the reverse is also true. Supporting testosterone isn't just about feeling younger. It's about living with strength, clarity, and joy. It's about being present for your family, your partner, and your passions with energy to spare. So let's bring everything together. We started with pomegranate, the circulatory ally. Its polyphenols protect testosterone-producing cells, boost nitric oxide for better blood flow, and lower cortisol to release the hormonal brakes. It even shows promise for prostate protection, a concern every man over 60 should take seriously. We move to avocado, the building block fruit. Rich in monounsaturated fats, vitamin B6, vitamin E, and magnesium, it provides the raw materials and the tools your body needs to manufacture testosterone. It lowers harmful cholesterol, raises protective HDL, and supports both brain and heart health alongside hormones. We explored berries, the antioxidant warriors. Small but mighty, they shield your testosterone flame from oxidative stress, stabilize blood sugar, protect brain signaling, and even support prostate health. They bust the estrogen myth and give you confidence to eat them freely. And finally, we debunked the sugar fear. Whole fruits are not your enemy. They are allies, packaged with fiber, water, and nutrients that make them fundamentally different from the processed sugars destroying metabolic health. Your body is smarter than internet myths. So here's the final takeaway. If you are a man over 60, you don't need to resign yourself to decline. You don't need to believe the story that energy, strength, and confidence fade away and never return. By choosing the right foods as simple and accessible as fruit, you can protect your hormones, sharpen your mind, and feel more like yourself again. Let me leave you with one challenge. Not a diet overhaul, not a supplement shopping spree, just one action. Add one of these 3 fruits, pomegranate, avocado, or berries, to your next meal. That's it. Try it today, not tomorrow, because small changes done consistently create the momentum that transforms lives. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You've swapped soda for pomegranate juice, you've made avocado toast a morning staple, you keep frozen berries in the fridger for late-night cravings, your energy is steadier, your mood is brighter, your waistline slimmer, your sleep deeper. Your lab results show not decline, but resilience. That future is not fantasy. It's built from the small, daily decisions you start making right now. So don't wait for the perfect plan. Don't get paralyzed by complicated rules. Start with 3 fruits, 3 allies that nature designed for you. Let them work with your body, not against it. Let them remind you that age is context, not destiny. And let them show you what it feels like to live with strength, clarity, and confidence, not just survival.